What's up, YouTube family? It's Natalie. It's Hotshot Adventures. Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and get into the maintenance aspect for your truck. So this is for your truck, and this is going to be a two-parter, you guys. I'm going to have to split it up because I don't like to be throwing out 30-minute videos of me just going wah 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 wah. It gets boring for me just to record it. So it's going to be a two-parter. In this part, we're going to go over everything under the hood. We're going to go over all your fluids, all your filters, all your belts, and we're going to go over all the fluids under the truck. And in the next video, we'll go over brakes, tires, suspension, and miscellaneous. So I'm going to kind of split it up. You guys forgive me. Lexi and I are at it again. We're on the road. We're in Nebraska, and I did not bring all the tools I need to record. So I'm trying to just balance everything on pillows and make do with what I've got. So forgive that. Now let's just get straight into it, you guys. The best advice that I ever got, I was like 20 years old and I had the cheapest, oldest Toyota. No, it wasn't even a Toyota. It was a Ford Taurus. And of course it broke down once again, right? And I'm in the office, I'm doing my little interstate dispatcher job. And I told my boss, who was mechanically inclined, I was like, hey, what do you think this is, And he, we went back and forth. And the best advice that he gave me was, Natalie, keep it cool, keep it lubricated. So you guys remember that. Keep your engines cool and keep everything lubricated. That's the point of this. And so we're just going to go get right into it, you guys. If your truck is new and it is still under warranty, I do strongly suggest that you use all OEM parts. I used to use all OEM parts when my trucks were still under warranty, and it really mattered in case if I had to take the truck to the dealership, I didn't want them giving me any crap about, oh, I didn't do this or I didn't do that or whatever, and try to get out of, the warranty. So I do strongly suggest that you use all OEM parts. Now, some parts I still use OEM, and other parts I have found very good off-brand or aftermarket, other manufacturers that do just as good of a job as OEM parts. So take that with a grain of salt. This is all my opinion, you guys. This is all my opinion based off of my experience. This is my 5th year running. I've bought 3 trucks. I have 3 people leased onto me. I've purchased 4 trailers over the last 5 years. And I did not even know how to change a tire or check brakes or anything when I started. So this was all new to me when I started, and I've learned a lot along the way. And I'm probably going to leave a few things out. Forgive me. I made a list and I'm going to try my best to stick to it, but I might have forgotten something. So if I did forget something, for all of my guys out there that are ready to point stuff out, please do so in the comments. And because this is for everybody. This is for everybody that may be looking into this business, that may be already running and was like, oh my God, I didn't know I even had that, or I didn't know I had to change that so frequently. These trucks are always under constant strain. They are built to tow. They are built to haul. No, they are not a big rig. They probably are not going to last 1 million miles or 2 million miles or 3 million miles like a big rig is. But if we take care of them, and I am living proof of that, my 4-year-old she beast is now at 250,000 miles, and my 2-year-old gray wolf is now at 226, I believe, thousand miles. So, and I haven't had any issues with them. Not any issues with them. Minus the she beast, we all know that, right? The transmission went out at 152,000 miles. It got replaced, and now it has another, it has 100,000 miles on that transmission. It's shifting like a champ. No loss in power, no issues with that truck. So minus that one issue, I have had no other issues. If you don't like what I have to say on this video, please remember that every manufacturer, I don't care if you buy a Ram, I don't care if you buy a Ford, a Chevy, whatever you buy, they all have a website and they all have a maintenance schedule. You can look it up online, probably on a laptop or a tablet, not your phone, but you can look it up and you can do tow a haul. You can pick all these different things, and it's going to give you the manufacturer's suggested maintenance schedule for what kind of truck you have and how you are using it. So look that up. If you don't like my suggestions and what I'm telling you to do, by all means, look it up and see what the manufacturer suggests. The 3 most important things that for fluids under the hood are your oil changes, your coolant, and your transmission fluid. So your oil changes, I suggest full synthetic, and I also suggest 15 15W40 full synthetic, whatever brand you like. I used to use Motorcraft when my trucks were still under warranty, and I have now switched them because they are getting up there in miles. So I don't use Motorcraft anymore. I use something else. But I change the oil every 10,000 miles or less. Now remember, when we're talking about fluids, you can always do it sooner. That's never a bad thing. If you do the flush fluids yourself, then you're doing it a little bit more often. If you take it to a shop and you're getting your oil change done before 10,000 miles, it's not going to hurt your engine to do it before 10,000 miles. It may hurt your engine to do it after. So with fluids, you can never do it too soon, in my opinion. Your coolant should be changed out, in my opinion, every 50,000 miles. You can go a little more if you are in the desert, or you can maybe go a little less if you run in really cool areas all the time. But at least every 50,000 miles, you should be doing a coolant flush. Your transmission fluid, super, super important. Use good quality transmission fluid. You guys decide, talk to your shop, whatever you think is best. But I have heard of guys doing the transmission fluid flush every 30,000 miles, and I've heard of what pretty much the manufacturers suggest is about at 50,000 miles. So somewhere between 30 and 50,000 miles, every 30 to 50,000 miles, you want to be flushing your transmission fluid. It costs, if you take it to a shop, it costs about, I think the last time I did it, I was charged like $250 for my 1-ton, my F350s. $250. The cost of a transmission on a new truck right now is at least $6,000, probably between $6,000 to $10,000 right now. So when you think about it, flush your transmission fluid. It is going to help the transmission continue to stay healthy and continue to work for you. Your air filters, right? Every spring, it's like I feel like I'm changing air filters like for those 3 months in a row every month. And they're very simple. You can buy them at AutoZone. You can do it yourself. They're very simple. Any shop that you do an oil change will change your air filters. They're all going to look at it because they want to sell you an air filter and put it in for you. It's a super simple job. There are some higher quality air filters that you can purchase that I think are like rubber washable type material. And there are just your regular air filters. They cost about $22. They're not expensive. And you don't want to be running on a dirty air filter, okay? It's going to restrict the flow of oxygen and air to your engine, and that's just going to make your engine work harder because it can't get what it needs. So just check your air filter regularly, and that's the one under the hood. You also, maybe you do or do not know, but you do have an in-cab air filter. For my Fords, it's under the glove box. You got to take the glove box off, and it's kind of back in there. That needs to be changed out. I change my in-cab air filters about every 5 months because I live in my truck when I am driving my truck. And so there's dust and dirt and grime and smell, and I don't like it. So I change those often. It is also a simple job. It's not a big deal. You can just, they have clips on the little, the glove box has these little clips. You just take the glove box completely off, you wiggle it out, you pop another one in, and you're done in 10 minutes. So very simple. Your brake fluid and your power steering fluid, you should be checking those on a regular. When you do your pre-trip, you should be popping the hood and you should be checking all of your fluids and all of your belts. You should be checking everything. But there shouldn't be any reason for you to flush your brake fluid or your power steering fluid. If it's a little low, then you can top it off. If you find that you're topping it off frequently, that ding, ding, ding is a sure tell sign that you have a leak somewhere. So that needs to be addressed, whether it's a crack in a line, a hose, maybe the cap is not twisted on all the way. Maybe there's a cap in the reservoir or a crack in the reservoir, who knows? But you should just be topping those off. At least that's what I do. Your fuel filters, right? I just did a video on fuel filters. Fuel filters are very, very, very important. Again, piggybacking on that video, your fuel filters should be done every other oil change. And that's my opinion. That's what I've always been told, and that's just what I go off of. And your belts. I have changed the belts. I changed the belts in my trucks at about 150,000 miles, and that was the manufacturer suggested, that was under that maintenance schedule. So I changed them. They didn't look to be worn. They didn't look to have too much play in them, but it suggested that I change them, so I changed them. It was, I think, about a $500 job. I took it to Ford. They did it, and I think it cost me about 500 bucks. Don't quote me on that because it was a while ago. Right, now let's get to the fluids under your truck. Okay, you got three. You've got your front if you have four-wheel drive, if your truck is 4x4 truck, you have your front differential, you have your transfer case, which is about in the middle of under your truck, about the middle under the cab of the truck, and then you have your rear axle, your rear differential. Okay, all of those fluids need to be flushed. I suggest that you do your differentials about every 40 to 50,000 miles, regardless of whether you're using four-wheel drive or not. That stuff is still getting flushed, that fluid is still getting flushed through the system, and it needs to be changed. So even if you don't use four-wheel drive a lot, I don't use four-wheel drive a lot. It's really nice to have. It's really good to have, especially with as much weight as we tend to carry. If you get into a little bit of mud, you're just spinning wheels in two-wheel drive, and you won't be able to get yourself out. You'll need a little Toyota Tacoma with four-wheel drive to give you that little oomph to pull you out, because you're just so heavy and you're sunk in the mud. I did do a video for those of you guys who are not signed up to the Patreon. It's $5 or $10 a month, and I've gone over so many things that I have maintained or fixed on both the trucks and the trailers. So I changed the fluids on the front and rear differentials, I think, as well as the transfer case. I think I did a video on the transfer case as well, but those are all on Patreon. If you guys don't know how to do it, you want to know how to do it, you want to see how I do it, whatever, that's all on Patreon. www.patreon.com/HotshotAdventures. Go check it out, and you can watch all those videos. There's like at least 100 videos on there of all kinds of stuff. And again, your transfer case is the same thing, about every 40 to 50,000 miles. That's a very important fluid. If you run your axles dry, right? If you somehow, somewhere you have a leak and you run your axle dry, this goes for trucks and trailers. If you run your axle dry, you will be purchasing a new axle. And a new rear axle on a dually truck is probably at least $2,000. I don't know, probably about $2,000. So don't run them dry. Flush the fluid. Little metal, little pieces, little shards of metal, really, really small, will come off from wear and tear of all the gears and stuff in there. And that's what the fluid is for, is to keep them all lubricated. But as the fluid breaks down, as the oil breaks down, it gets really thick, and it gets really black, and it doesn't lubricate as well. So very, very important. Save your axles. There should be no reason why you're not doing these transfer case. If I can change my own transfer case fluid and my differentials all by myself with all my nails and all my hair and trying to figure out all this stupid tools and all this crap, then you guys can do it yourself too. Okay, what a shop is going to charge you, I don't know, but it's not going to be cheap. I'll tell you that much. It's not going to be cheap. And if we are averaging out our year, say we drive 100,000 miles in 1 year, then that means you're changing your transfer case and your differentials, you're changing them twice a year. So go to a shop, get an estimate of how much they're going to charge you to do this basic maintenance stuff, and then multiply that by 2 and add that into your maintenance fund if you're not going to do it yourself, because that money does add up, and it adds up quick. And it's also a day off. You have to take it during the week because they want to work on it during the week. So you have to hurry up and make sure that you get home to get your truck to the appointment the next day. And then you have to be worried that, all day that day, as soon as you drop it off in the morning, you got to be worried, are they going to get it done by the afternoon? Should I book loads today for tomorrow? Are they going to find an issue? Are they going to tell me this, that, and the other? It's just a whole mess. Plus, then you got to find a ride home. Then you got to find a ride back to the shop. It's just a mess. Do it yourself on a Sunday, when the kids are at soccer or the wife is wherever, whatever. Do it yourself. It's not hard. That is all of the fluids and all of this stuff. Oh, and batteries. Okay, batteries, you guys. This is what pisses me off. I'm going to give you this little rant, and then we'll shut this video down for today. But batteries. It does not matter. I have tested this, okay? It doesn't matter what brand of battery you buy, and it doesn't matter how long the battery says it's going to last. You can buy a 3-year, which all these trucks have 2 batteries, 2 giant-ass batteries. Even if you buy a battery that says it will last you 3 years, it will not. I have bought different types of batteries. I've bought, 2-year, 3-year. Now I'm just buying the 1-year batteries because it doesn't matter what I buy. My batteries only last me a year, okay, before they start really, they'll still crank the truck over, but the truck gives you other notifications of, basically the battery is not giving the truck enough juice to start all of its systems and stuff like that. So that sucks. So that sucks. And I think the reason why the batteries don't last, mine's only last me a year. It doesn't matter what I buy. But I think the reason why they only last a year is because of the electric brakes. I think that that's wearing down the suggested lifespan of the battery because of the trailers. I think that's what it is. But that's just what I came up with. If you guys think it's something else, or you think I should try a different type of battery, I'm all ears, because both of my trucks need new batteries right now. So you guys go ahead and let me know if you are having batteries, if you have batteries that are actually lasting you the 2 or the 3 years that these battery companies say that they're supposed to last. You guys let me know what you're using, because I need to go and buy those, because I've tried everything else. So that's it, you guys. Again, if I forgot something, put it in the comments, please. I'm sure I probably did. I scratched off, some notes yesterday and whatever. I may have forgotten something. I don't know. But you guys, super, super, super important. And try to do this stuff yourself. Like, we work a 5 or 6 day week, right? Anywhere 60 hours, 70 hours more. I mean, I work more. And then we come home and we have maintenance to do. Like, that's the life. That's the lifestyle. If you're looking at this business and you think it ain't no 8 to 5, it's a 12 to 14 hour day. And then when you go off duty, then you got to catch up with your emails and all your text messages from your family and the voicemails, and you got to plan your route for the next day, and you got to see where you're going to fuel for the next day, and you got to there's all of this other stuff that you have to do after you're off duty. So it's a lot. But I also suggest, especially with the rates what they are right now, and especially because of the time of year, it is quote unquote slow season. That's what everybody says, it's slow season. It quote unquote should pick up around the middle of March, if you're believing that stuff. All my trucks are staying loaded, all my trucks are busy. I don't know. And the majority of it is off the load board. The rates are low, I can tell you that. They seem to be lower than last year, but fuel is also lower than last year. So those two things directly, they kind of coincide with themselves, with each other. So since it is this time of year, and since it's not like we're making a ton of extra money, we're not making any extra money, right? If you do maintenance yourself, it will help keep some of the money that you worked your butt off to get. It will help you keep some of that money in your pocket, rather than just working really hard to go and pay a shop to do some of this stuff. Like I said, I don't do all of it myself, but I try to do a lot. I can do a lot of my trailer by myself. I don't do it as much right now because I've been pretty damn busy, and I'm not recording as much right now because I've been pretty damn busy, because I got 3 trucks leased on, and I'm still trying to run and do all of this other stuff. So I do have a lot on my plate, and I haven't, been recording as much. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and hopefully that this helps you guys. You guys be safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be good, and hopefully in another month or 2, we'll see some rates turning around, and we'll go from there. You guys stay tuned for part 2 coming up in a couple days.